Shanae, you got anything you want to say to greet the people this morning?
Disheartening at times, but in fact, when we recognize our limits, that we can't live beyond our limits sustainably, it has a way of freeing us.
Brianna's with us, Pastor Andrew and myself, and then we have several other folks who are walking in different places. Amen.
Ash Wednesday is an opportunity for the church to start on the Lenten season, which commemorates the journey of Christ. Many biblical scholars mark it to Luke 9:52, where Jesus sets his face like flint and starts walking towards Jerusalem. And so in solidarity with that same spirit, we started off the Lenten season with the walk.
Absolutely. And Ash Wednesday has been really a staple for Double Love. In our first year, our preview year, Ash Wednesday fell, I believe, in March. And so we had 2 preview services. We had 2 left. And we wanted to really commemorate Ash Wednesday, but we didn't have a sanctuary. So we literally decided we were going to go into the community and do a pop-up Ash Wednesday experience. We brought our sign, we brought our ashes, and we decided that we were going to anoint people. And it was really powerful. And so we did it again in 2020. But then in 2021, the pandemic was here. And so we had to find a new way to be in the community, but to still mark the moment. And that's where the prayer walk came from, allowing us to walk through the community, but to still commemorate this really holy day.
So every year that we do Ash Wednesday, we always have a civic component to it, making sure that God's love and God's justice are emphasized in an interrelated way has always been something that Pastor Gabby and I try to lift up. And so this year, with the prayer walk, we had a QR code that one of our team leaders, Ashley Brown, designed so that we could direct folks to a News You Can Use portion of the website. You all may be familiar with that from the News You Can Use that Kim Miles gives regularly. And that provided an opportunity for folks to know who's on the ballot this year in New York City, information on vaccine distribution, and also how folks can support Black-led organizations, including community groups, Black small businesses, and so forth. So just weaving those things together has always been a core theme and way that we approach Ash Wednesday in the Lenten season.
It was also powerful this year. We knew that not everyone could walk with us, whether it be because they didn't live in New York or because we're still in a pandemic. And even though we had a socially distanced walk, we are still mindful of folks who have pre-existing conditions and people who have to really be even more vigilant about how they share space with folks. And so what I love this year is that we extended the opportunity for folks to walk where they were. And so we had some participation from Nashville, from Atlanta, from California, from different boroughs within New York City. And people were still able to walk. We pre-recorded a prayer on our podcast and allowed people to listen to that while they were walking so that they would still feel connected. And it has been really powerful. We also coupled Ash Wednesday for the first time this year with 2 Zoom touch points in the afternoon and the evening. Both were led by our ministerial fellows. Trelenny led the afternoon, Brittany led the evening, where people were able to gather on Zoom and reflect on what their walk might have been like, whether they walked with us or not, reflect what the significance of Ash Wednesday might be. And it was really powerful to hear people's stories. And in 2021, in the midst of a pandemic where we are all scattered, I think that is really a beautiful way to indicate that we can be together in mind, in spirit, and purpose, even when we are physically apart. So I was really, really proud of our church and the ways in which we connected with one another, even though not everyone was physically gathered in the same place. And just remember that throughout the entire Lenten season, we're going to have 40 days of prayer every weekday. We'll be led in prayer by the two of us, as well as Reverend Portia Williams, our Minister of Music, Flash Ravel, and Reverend Michael Wortham. And every weekday at 7 a.m., you will be able to pray with us on Zoom and then hear the playback on our podcast. Because again, the pandemic has caused us to have to be scattered, but you are not alone. We are still together, though you may not be physically in our presence and in our space. So we just thank God for this time of reflection. We're believing that God is going to draw all of us closer to God during this season and closer to one another.
Hey family, we are here for the start of Ash Wednesday. As you can see from Pastor Gabby's banner, this is the beginning of the Lenten journey. We're commemorating the start with the prayer walk. And we are remembering how Christ walked towards Jerusalem, where his ministry would culminate for our salvation and for our freedom. And so these next 46 days, we're walking with each other and we're walking in the Spirit of Christ.
Amen. God bless you. Year 3, DLE Lent Ash